Ora Mustapha Gbande, Deputy General Secretary of the NDC, Deputy Director of Operations, our presidency. Now, me nene twetwe enkomo. Let's say.
Hello.
Now, what to say?
Oh, there, I don't know.
Now, what you woman to make?
Oh, do kapa. You Ghana. Ghana the council. Your home.
Your Ghana the council.
Only one the car on you or Daniel.
There be our Daniel. Now, Mamma, Enra, the course swore a war. Honorable Rev Ntim Fordjour MP for some South, ranking the Committee of Defense and Interior of Parliament of Ghana. Sade na uni movie.
Baby. And it's a Yamana being a director. And me involved how investigations are run. But I think that I'm a senior member of government and the party. And a Ghanaian. I'm interested in fighting crimes. And that was one of the promises we made to the people of Ghana. We must be seen fulfilling that mandate. Much as we want to fight crimes, the processes and procedures for doing same ought and should be properly aligned with the rules of law, what is practicable, so that we don't set a bad precedent. Good leadership should not emulate bad leadership. Good leadership does what is different from what we know, and that is what we are advocating for.
And yeah, what can I say here? My main minority in parliament, ranking, and some okokan ye fa eluprebia mienu eba ha on suspicion say eba ha be ye den president kwaka so omunti committee no omu hwehwem supplement raid eba ye ene takrade anase central region ho no cocaine bi a omu baste ne de. What do you make of it?
Oh, I think first of all, Rev Ntim Fordjour, you see, because he's a pastor, I accord him that respect, not necessarily because a politician. He brought out a very key and important information of a Kwame it's not just for saying sake. On the ordinary Ghanaian, no, it's not good. Obia utukwai. Obia upia manone Ghana ni uba ukurum. Ghana ni utukwai buchi. Sasa mwa Ntim Fordjour akano. Ehunsu swanswa ne dosu. Bibiri. Utukwai kuyuti. Wakame sadi ya ukwa asadi ya ushewu celebrity shusi. Na wadu hitru. Ni yesu ufi Ghana nti. Ni Ntim Fordjour akentino. You should never say cooking woman. It's so embarrassing. So therefore,
na me ba jombo senye breeding kania obi aka bibi sa okay 77 passes of cocaine and once
we know was not said by a mere communicator. It was said at the floor of parliament by a ranking member. Na bibisa no, and I was thankful, sir, Mr. President, has difference from President Akufo-Addo, who would have shared.
But so him say airports are hold on.
President Akufo-Addo would have shielded this because that was what has happened in the past. President Mahama says, sir, please, I have received this information that a member of parliament has made him. I am aware that in the couple of weeks, no, cocaine phobia. And every year, immediately, state institutions will come together, collaborate with the member of parliament to ensure fair, proper investigations are done na omano yadwi munye na say Ghana enye transit point. Ghana yadwi mo clear say Ghana is not a transit point for cocaine. It also means that some individuals could do all of us that injustice, so that when the investigation is done, we'll get to know. Rev Ntim Fordjour free on our call TV stations and our call radio stations. He had sacrificed his parliamentary immunity and making statements outside the floor of Parliament, continuing the allegations. He even went to the extent that he and Mr. Tax screened a presentation of tracking. Okay? Why won't he collaborate with state agencies? Yesterday's arrest of a crime. Yes, Ntim Fordjour call heaven, call down. He has to appear, he has to be arrested and collaborate with the investigation, or he has to volunteer to collaborate with the investigation. But you cannot go to anybody's house. Say, oh, no wash a mask. If you national security crank cable, if you defense and cable, NIB officer.
Yes, what's a mask?
No, NIB officer. Mm-hmm. Why would you wear a mask? You dilute your responsibility to show identity.
Okay.
And when you do that, it's wrong. It's lazy work. Very lazy work. People will say that it's a state, it's the executive who is not doing their work. But these are public institutions who are supposed to be doing their work professionally. Number two.
But one person for cameras, no, be able to photo near the
and the from you're not qualified to be an NIB officer. You should resign. If I am going to arrest President Akufo-Addo, he will see to me. I will respect him as a former president. I'll tell him, Mr. President, ABCD require that you present yourself for some investigation. If the president says I won't go, you will call for reinforcement and arrest him. But prima facie, fundamental, you cannot go and effect an arrest of an honorable member of parliament. Now we shall ask. Will you appoint? We cannot dilute the conversation with reckless work. Rev Ntim Fordjour should be properly arrested or invited to face and provide feather and butter particulars, but not in this shoddy way of doing things. What I say, you cannot go to anybody's house wearing a mask. That is not an acceptable standard of arrest. Particularly so that member of parliament, no.
Honorable. Mustapha, I don't hear Mustapha. One more small woman. One name as a much say, Muncha way.
And I was smart, Colonel Koya, the bonnie, I was a woman. They said go and arrest somebody. Go and arrest somebody, not an NIB officer. Who said Nika, a policeman, who said a friend Nika, shot, Nwako. After number two, what they are mask. Now they are showing him. Oh, if it is me, I will not allow myself to be arrested. I will not. It's simply not right. And this is not what the government or what the institution was asked to do. Somebody should have written a letter inviting Ntim Fordjour officially, or a call should have been placed to him for him to make himself available for investigation. So there are some arguments there. He is protected under the parliamentary privileges. No. After he made the statement, a very critical, a very important statement on the floor of Parliament, he came outside Parliament. Parliament is on recess. All business of Parliament is closed. Unless, of course, there's some responsibility that some members of Parliament are performing. He has gone to the public space to beyond these commentaries, and that he should be arrested as an ordinary person, but a ranking member or a person of some repute who should be accorded the needed courtesies in order for the substance of this is for the investigation to be carried out. Come what is here? The substance of it, we say, the president wants to know, have there been any iota of truth to what suspicion Rev Ntim Fordjour is holding, yes or no? Then we can take it up from there. President Mahama will not shield any crime. Okay? So, if an institution is going to do that, and I'm aware this morning that some requests have been made to Parliament and Parliament have not yet responded. That issue is neither here nor there. Rev Ntim Fordjour has made these comments publicly. You know, he's gone out of Parliament, he's gone to Metro TV, they've even tracked the plane. He has assumed the powers of national security, powers of narcotics control board, powers of NIB, or investigating on touch screen. So the institution should just invite him. If we needed to arrest him when he was doing the touch screen, why couldn't we arrest him there? He came to radio stations. Why couldn't we arrest him there? Rev Ntim Fordjour drives in town. Why can't we track him and arrest him? Why should it be the case that or Timothy on any mouth? Now, Yasha mask. Now, Yako, Unti, Ukobon Tria. Now, who takes responsibility? How do we know that you are the one who caused it? That is not President Mahama's regime. This is certainly a condemnable conduct on the officer who won march to Ntim Fordjour's house. And I can say, sir, it's a misconduct targeted at distorting the issues. And I will insist that the issues will be corrected and the right thing will be done. Somebody from NIB should place a call to Ntim Fordjour to report, or they should write a letter to him. If he fails to come, we will coordinate every force necessary to arrest him. Because can you imagine how American country cocaine here? It was said by not the mean person, but a member of parliament near the politics.
And what can you say? Then they should have found a proper way of inviting him.
Yes, I insist that should be done. Kwame, we promise to do things different from what President Akufo-Addo did.
Ayi na mama radio you. Sa issue you nipa bia susu se enka omo be calling on the Speaker of Parliament to constitute a bipartisan a committee. Mean can bipartisan. A committee to look into it. And the binum see there be an independent body be a sans some of my raising woman in Abihim. Ojin say.
Well, you see, the problem is that minority wants to do politics. It's fair. We did the same thing to them. But we can't sacrifice the right way of doing things to join that free of conversation. Let the minority make their noise. Let us have our way. They should go to court. If Ntim Fordjour is arrested, let them go and make noise. If yesterday the right thing was
no, Kase, Munye things the way Akufo-Addo did. Akufo-Addo person BBC.
Me say, and if it was the proper way of arresting this young man, and a minority for Nekugua will ransack all of them and arrest them because they are obstructing arrest.
Okay.
But it wasn't done properly because somebody worn mask, cannot be identified, wielding a gun, went to the place. These are characteristics of President Akufo-Addo's regime. These are Nyama Yehu of President Akufo-Addo regime. No, President Akufo-Addo ordinarily would have sat on this matter quietly.
I know example will be a
oh dear, baby,
wow, we have evidence.
International Airport.
Aye.
Sir, aircraft may not be so high cocaine. Hey. One coffee beba from her. One me packy alarm blue, you move your plane.
Wow.
It's Kotoka International Airport.
Also can be.
That be no when here allegations it was a good thing. Investigation continued. What I say. But President Muhammad was saying he is instructing specifically national security with other state entities to, make sure that investigations are done. And I do understand why it took some time for us to get here. Because before you take an action as a state, you must first of all also do your own checks. Because it is the duty of state institutions to would have prevented anything criminal that will happen in this country. I'm talking here. Oko airport, national security, narcotics, NIB, NRP, advance aviation security, and sweatport, also handle cargo no. Na answer na play me beba ever land where airport no. Aviation should have authorized it, and then when they land, the ground men would have done further checks. Okay, so all these things wouldn't have happened before a plane boards or load and take off. All these checks would have been made. So it is a duty of the state to do its homework well, to satisfy itself on a normal procedure, standard airport management procedure. No, Bibia.
And you was a Ghana airport company. One so quiet. And their silence is too loud.
Debbie. The Ghana Airport Company is an institution under Ministry of Transport. The Ghana Airport Company is a management company. It manages several other institutions or it habitates them to do their work. So airport company is a mother company. And I'm the aviation security is there, national security is there, NIB is there, and narcotics also almost. Each of these entities has peculiar management responsibility as far as handling of aircraft and cargo management is concerned. Particularly to the extent say, the matter was specifically, the president instructed that it should be a coordinated investigation collaborating with the whistleblower. The airport company cannot be talking. Okay. You have to collaborate. You and I do not know what has happened behind the scene.
Okay.
The cross-checkings. Just to make sure that the state has, on a normal day, every officer of the state they have done their work. Okay? But, satisfy the institutions there. On any normal routine, if I'm coming to OKFM, I need to go to the reception and book an ameboa. Then somebody takes me to Konamubabi Aushaho. So if something happens, they must first of all check so when the state satisfies itself with all of these processes, then it can invite the whistleblower to assist. But even before the state does that, the whistleblower was all over the place. Oye presentations, he is saying this, he is saying that, damaging the reputation of the country on mere suspicion. So it's a matter before investigative bodies. Airport company cannot be investigating the matter in public or cannot be dealing with the matter in public. 3 days ago, they issued a clarification, a public statement clarifying that one, these are the positions of Ghana Airport Company. Their own checks have not revealed anything close to what Rev Ntim Fordjour is suspecting. So therefore, don't you think that it becomes now very clear that one way or the other, Rev Ntim Fordjour would have been making a legitimate statement in good faith, or his statements were malicious and of bad faith, politically intended to tarnish the reputation of the government and the country. So therefore, he does not have the option to just volunteer. If he fails to volunteer to cooperate, the institutions of state are mandated by law to arrest him. And I'm saying that in executing the arrest, the proper thing should be done. The proper thing was to invite him. And an invitation can be a phone call or a written letter officially served on Rev Ntim Fordjour. So if yesterday, when the BNI officers went there, was to just invite him to say, oh, report on your own to NIB at this time. And Rev Ntim Fordjour fails to go. National security, but that was not the case. What diluted the rightful way of arresting Ntim Fordjour yesterday was the presence of an officer wearing a mask. Why? We condemned these acts in 2020-2019 when we were living in a country under a human rights lawyer who did not have respect for fundamental human rights. He abused everybody. They did what they want. President Mahama is doing a different thing. State officials must be seen to be responsible in the discharge of their work. So I'm saying that Rev Ntim Fordjour would have to be invited. He has to be arrested. He will be arrested. And if he refuses...
Oh, and a pay
Yes, that's what I'm saying. They should take him. So I don't understand what the minority noise is about. We can't treat this issue like that. Oh, and state is doing a self-start. One officer has misbehaved. That officer should be held responsible. You see, they shouldn't say, Abino, President Mahama's government will not persecute anybody. I mean, and I can tell you, the year why will be. We will not do that. And me, I will not support anything like that.
Okay.
But if you are wrong, tomorrow, if Kwame Nkrumah Tiketiye breaks a law, President Mahama's regime will coordinate with state agencies. You will be arrested, and we should allow institutions to function. When it's wrong, let's say it is wrong. When it is right, let's say it is wrong. It is right. I'm condemning the style with which these masked men went to the place, and I'm saying that he has to be arrested properly. It will not dilute the issues.
Mate, Mamma was an administration champagne and Famon. And may you see a word, Mammy.
I was Yamo Biakwaba and from Bramega TV in platform with ESO. And to Uti and Sama, a year the Deputy General Secretary at the NDC, Yera Mustapha Gbande Reacted, a Director of Operations at the a year the presidency, in fact, on a deputy. Utie Nkomona Odina. In fact, he's been fair. He's been fair to Reverend Ntim Fordjour because Andra me video na e babontina. Omwa omuko no amise omaka anim and e pasa ochina bi ni bibi kosi ochina bi no obekubo bitimutu a why na ye kwako bisa no. Because the only thing I mean who is only criminals only criminals and omo kwachi obia omo kata omani. Only criminals and omo kwachi obia omo eden ekata omani omo mani pa no enye den ehu ne dim because ochina bi bibisi a okra no unhu die bisi unhu die unka explaining chen. So that is very unlawful. That is really unlawful. But Reverend Ntim Fordjour said ye ne anopa imiti yomo si omo issue arrest warrant. NIB National Investigation Bureau issue arrest warrant. So no kasa emfa ne honko na omo detain no no mbisa no ensem ba ko mienu miensa bi de ekoba ya oka sansem no any die ni nansi so pa the main stance of the allegations are o making no onye den ontimi show up and this are ne ho bekire no abusia for and this are ne ho ebeden ebekire no and say an koba say urawi ewie akyire na so oni evidence bia na egyan man ko scot free a Ghana we are doomed. Odi na edi nkan yenko na yenkotie lawyer Augustine Obo criminal lawyer. In fact, eba no human rights ho nsensem eba no se obi akodi se bi enyambra sem ne yenkoche na owura we eginam bi etimi kasa as a lawyer edi mani param yenkotie sa nsem a oni Kwame Nkrumah tikese ewo OKFM krona so enkomo a omoboy efa Rev Ntim Fordjour and run arrest eho ochemu a enyambra se obi betimi akwa katana nim se ochi nipa. Even Rev Ntim Fordjour any charge bia, and in this case represent as what a witness. It's NDC for an answer when NDC for the claims no making aban ni pa onye den onkropro no na ontimi nkyere no ba bi kura onya ne saa intel no anase ne evidence no onye evidence onya saa intel na the bible ntia odi allegations na onkyere mo na se mo ye ne gidigidi a emfa so papa bi amba yenkoti yewura lawyer Augustine Obo criminal lawyer yenkoti no yakoba ebeto aso
na bokode
eja from Grand Roma
ami
ye ma me na o twida ne boboy
edru sumwa first May ni we di gina so na me sia yie so man for yi ebusuafo se mu tie a lawyer Augustine Obo woni owo no odaya wansori na bosumi ebesimi nyanefua baako a first May enna yebedi abrewa na wotweda ewo asante adweso enti yesre ejamfo ne mo amoya awrechichifo se momra na mumejam ye bia enu achi ene yedi eyida no so ebeto na mpani se de na chiri paye no enye ono a ne pam woya abantie na owu abone maame abomodi ne ko ye nyina ye nkojam no mo wadi mu case nyina mo amne ne wie school nyina mo amne ko school nyina wo bia Wesley College fo obia adweso man ye nyina ye motwi emochara abrochefo mu nyina mo mara wo ba so afa bibi se ho na wotweda bedi ntoboa pia lo makane ye
Yao. Vida kai vida. Vida se va bien chuwe yina no wa sha si.
Yeah.
Vida wa si.
Yo. Na wadi ya baba unchen a ye agama yen enchiremu kakra de asie ewo honorable Rev Ntim Fordjour the Koba say his purported arrest attempt numni ade what the one so kan our parliament ene ade the commentaries and crofo run wo ho enkomo ipa no yenye ne say wo mrem
you been up me da me che me nyanam Ghana fo enyema mi na esi wa ko your politics ena ba ko ye mra politics no every ni o kasa sisi ya no mitie no manage no ho e fa bebre o ya de se de sa kwa e be boa e man no se ya nkasa yetimi hu ade ya yenia aya enye ne ka tene se nya e be mana sesa na nye first politics na de enye bia no ye kata so no ye mo ye ne sa na ye o ye ne sa ye na ma memra mo e fa criminal law no na tiase Rev Ntim Fordjour enye nasem na America ne mo mamenka me ma o jacket ne me wi ana o de asem na shi ma hwa ade
mate
obi akoka asem bi asem na o kae no open information bibre efa asem no ho nipa ko ye dance ni ma na o dance ni ye nche no ye krokro
ba me to kase nipa ko nso no if so o fail so be provide evidence anase betimi aye bibia nipa kro no appeal falsehood
oh say Many of me say, send your my reverend here, who be a politics. And she say, what do you be a and no business the Nipako fires the main cat, or your dancing you. And two done the form said you on one Casakayan. Or done the form one Rev Ntim Fordjour, not seven. When you pass what I say, oh, she share at the AB. You be Nipakura at the end of one. Then this is how we say the father. I mean, you have one as soon.
Debbie, make work on the
jacket. No. If you say Mremuno, you want my say, so which will be a who pass or cut a men cassa, said that I'm a teacher, which social prosecutor. Yana, ye pay, clear no one in here politicians. What's in another day? 48 hours fed out to make people. Oba police station, or say men cassa, and Raman the coin. Say a small bizarre, or say men can be. You won't shake a video winner. When you are one penny, say, one no one collaborate, one no come move, one got some what you know. One no come move, now when you move, and just a cochino. What the mayor say, Crano, only the name come but say, Ray, what Marco Clare, near police, if you remember your friend a witness statement. What you can't qualify, say, okay. And someone who came, my witness it would a book at us. My
but I say, one say, a summer walk and pay the woman woman, and yes, I net you do chantro. It will provide evidence.
Show, you provide evidence. What can you do? Police station, oh, the lawyer say. Yeah, walk of people about one track watching statement. No, I have nothing to say. I will speak in court. And the other way, and for the
Bajo say a chin, yeah, but I chin on what grounds?
And maybe I say, one year, open information. Near what shows that we need to call fire. Oh, watching an open information. Oh, taking the enka ya witness mpono nka ye supina na just be o ya ba adwuma o hye ya biase a wa amfakra supina na ankwa ye ma ne kwan ma ne mba na nka wo dance ni die ye nteti no o be gira da kam na o katia wa ba ye ndai o be gira da kam na so o katia wa
wo katia na fa dance ye bre
e dina me katia wo say when you forever any day to me my jacket no okay so be information about what case I yen chelo ndi forever dey say jacket no said the omo ya forever no ya na na mpaso be nya ye den e ko chi obi e mra ne say card a wa ye tire no ndi omo ko omo say red afo mra be ya e mra ne say ko chi obi a card ko ade pa ko na ye tire no wa e bra wo chi no ye meka nke no police station e bra na wo chi sa constitution ni chi
what trying to abanso.
Oh, me try to abanso the normal you no, you crime bear, section bear. Politicians not the criminal libel and cannot hear under criminal libel. And only criminal libel if you say, I feel to be to me Canada. My politics like a oh, you move here to Kumay. Rev Ntim Fordjour again now watching, and they attend the air question. On no book, you too. I dear were yen abandoned than one probably many probably in the air question. Samuel, the other communication director on your friend is saying, NBC, Sammy Gemfi, back check us, some new, your back check your mama won't see you crowd. And you run the entire politics. But so what you do on Mremoa, and Mara say Cardia Nipako, aye, channel, a brown children. If you won't call and one because of why you day.
We can try undermine the security of the state.
I know you work on them Rabeno. And Rabin, Session Bayer, Code Bayer, Law Bayer. Oh, exactly be a million Ghana for me catch them say, 2 million the prosecutor, Mummy and Jim free politicians in some. See, I'm Jim few among someone. See, I know the Diago.
Ebra watching on. Wubaka why ya, a 1 million so a fum rawi.
amane sa na mra na constitution say bra wo che no ka che ne say why you say ntira mecho e wona me ne di speaker na okasa as say ni ya adwe na wa say mask na wa ko gira ho no oh e dia na wo yi oh politicians no da o mu win elections no e da na no mu sa sa ase lose oh wo sa ase awo ya de we no sa so obi ebufu oh say wo yes and Rev Ntim Fordjour na fufu di abuaku o mo to aba ma wa sa ase lose ba politics no but emremu die wo dance ni yenche no ye kokro no enti asa na o kan ni nyame ntimi enti ase say Rev Ntim Fordjour wo ye dance ni ana say wa ye boni bi nka wo na aye me na kan bese kan me twa adwa kwa me bi say Rev no wa ye boni ana say wo ye dance ni
was say the boni na wa ye ne say asema wa be kan to mframa mu enye no kure no ama say kura wo ye Ghana ni na wu tu kwan a you be exposed to a thorough
ono na dwen no waka na dwen kwa na ni tikuruma ono kwa na Ghana ni eno ne microphone du kwan komai
Ghana for
ono na dwen no waka na dwen ye no obi so wa dwen foforo dikrembra che dia Rev no ni pako na wo kwache no enfonso a wa ye ne de o ma fa ni akasa mo kwache no o se mo ne nka mo na mo nya twetwe mu no o de na ya se o just statement video and that we interview Rev and I was saying you know we never be baby boom and you know na me akaya na me pese me tie bi ye mu bi no sa we ni tie asem ise akaka na me bi court me nya won tie de ekoso bi wa ise interview we no mra na me ye de tie asem as o pese o kan ni pa na kasa bo hye na yem e wo emra so say wo kwache no na ye de o ye dance ni e say okay watch Rev wo de na kwa ko do police station o say I say no to him ebe ni za ofre na won fiu dia na abaye no then na abaye no you put 48 hours as on the court in your father the court the day
and I so you dance
me ba when your kasa and was say one person sa de na see first we be besi is attorney general ni accused person no mo wo dining hall didi e fa another accused person o ebi na o ma sa ye no if you kind of manage for see and person sa de ni bi obesi esi a ye tie no ye so de esi ni ye tie no also what you be afa kwa mpa so che no me ne ya adwen sa o BPNDC mo na mo koba enti hu nia no so de be ye
na
so de be ye
no NI before one person wo chi obi a is wo mo kokoje warrant na
baby nipa na wo person o chi no man sa ebem o ye MP na mra constitution na che kwa e fa so chi no.
Okay.
If you so.
All right.
The brother to the fire for such a one is a meal body, me could be to be sham, watching the Zia, and the Gumi for every Gumi, the myself to become no do it. The Musun count no ninjas or the any ever check of some India. Mexico would the message handcuff from 1 mouth is here. If you shop pictures, grandma, imagine here at your papa. That's only ninjas or the any manson walk of Abba. You bet you.
There's a manson Everest.
So sad walk of Abba. So kind ya minister be the year do Bruce Cancer or something. Who can't do it all so.
I.
You Nami a fellow prosecutor or case in the moon. And giving him the American or watch it of will be also who love for you be you ama. And I was so such and say the whole police in the two bureau. I'm from the Kwanza, I want also hear compensation the Paconia of Mino.
Bajamibo, Constitution, they say. So a person, and now security agency. Now, she will be a from the Kwanza, and Pacono, Educo Dina Quotra. About compensation, I won't have 2 bottoms.
I have Constitution. One decided about detaining on one of which you can. Yeah,
by Asayania, Yadigo Post Station, Yenim.
NCC for Juma. Omo de say be 12 and 1 omo ba 12 yi no kwa ne ye.
We dey mean sound me pa chaw. Suppose ni bi. E chew. Wonam ra kwan so. Wo be hwe kwa wa bro say tam. No wa omo ade me chi na koshim, me chi wa koshim. Ebi wo kwa na koshia ga ebi no wa chi wa koshim. Ba sa fa ne kwa court. Wo ne kwa court na court di wasem mawa. Ebu a court no betwa se yentua no eye sa policy ni no a ne betua
I'm na make our constitution
na can't
detain no be wrong there. Nipa na detaining no one also tia conversation man.
Oh, nice one.
Our constitution no nyame na make. The guy say police ni be say why ASU what be my client. Me take no pa o pa che wan san dey jai. Yes you no anu. Oh, o ko atele da o ma fi no. Afi na o timi so o bre no o pe lawyer. Na na ho meti no be pa che o.
Ketian kwa say ya we dey kopɛ lawyer. Ba edu ba bi o mo fa sa kwan no so no di bulu nkrofo. That power of arrest.
They say education no kwa na e koso nkrofo ye educated ba. Enti nkrofo beti ase. Enti me bi say wo kwa akɔchi obi no emra se wo kwa kaade adi pakura ye ne kire no wa ebra wo che no no. Enti o mo se nipa na o mo kwache no no. Enra news ni e peti se wa ye dey. Wa sika nsem bi fa aircraft bi wo ye nya bi ate. Adia say we answer we am dey ma on your politics. So we be akika sa answer na say nya no kra. No one say communication minister e be press conference sem na abeto dwa no mumu nya no kra bi enu.
Oh, and dey waye.
Enti na ye kwachi obi ukwa no bo me ye mu bi no na me pe bone a nipa na ye kwachi no no. Me hwe news no na me bisa say na wo kwachi ne say waye ase ono mo nka wo. O kwachi ne say waye dey. Wakana dia for aircraft bi aba. Se no obi so akana dia no pay say utukwa akọ ba bia ye beka so ye kuka na obi adwen o.
Say asama waka no e border on national security causing fear and panic.
And you want to say why you think?
And the word over no
we don't want me court be Yankee can say on fire won this how. Asama waka no border on national security. Enti why you think? Lord me ben no what tia so. Lord ben chide obi ma chide 48 hours. What did you have there? So the 48 hours reparation almost about on the Ubi. Then the over the year when I'm moving to San, almost on the Ubi. But yes, no, your kind of address, almost a year near Majino, a yepa, Nina Lutia, ever warm the 2 minute year, 2 minute ball and Sapa Conche. Ever come before. But we near Nipana and Bremuno, in some amount jacket, say. When you're dancing here now, if you be our quack up information every day, there be oh, Yanasa, I want Debbie. Oh, you're dancing here, Yanasa, your Moyano. Debbie. Yan fun say, Yao Quacchino, Unim Babia, a confounded big cocaine, Acusia, who is over you.
On view.
Oh, you must open that there be on Penny collaborate with him. One can say go and arrest him. Leo Mampenica go for Biatia, one can say go and arrest him. On the calling chain, Upasua, a corporate crack, corporate to be someone managing quietly. No, I couldn't see honorable. I send me a on radio, TV, and a statement. If you so witness statement, the one has over Chini Pananza. Yen will be as a witness statement. Witness statement here, which means it will be our Mika, which might be witness statement the film. No, witness statement the film Pacono. So, honorable, I say we are okay, but so my witness statement near the Twasso, a young Shimu, what is all my penny say? Yamra, when I said, I know Ramekam, and young Shimu. No way there, or you're dancing me, or the children, I know that your casa is saying, arrest, no, or to move to a arrest, and arrest is there, they be arrest to me. Like a different arrest to me than the previous Zakawaima. And you are more for crying out, my penny, or say collaborate with him. Or then in class in 5 days, oh, and then only for our aircraft, now, and then see, it be a security for, there be a police force here, no woman and your police here. And you can't copy son, not giddy the Okweza, or your dancing, you'll obey then out in Apple Court. Oh, ma. Or backward as a witness, oh, ma. And you must so be any so. Oh, you're dancing, you know.
And you might say, Yachinu say, ya, not your money bill. Now, the court date, you know, Muslim media dancing, on fire dancing, or Omra, or power ma.
No, Obi over there dancing, you know, on the confusion, I was walking. Yakin is here, and that money bill. Say, your mother court bill, and but get a new class of friendly view. That's the amount of court bill. What's the amount bill? And according to me, she was a con investigators and then come. Debbie.
Eti investigator no ultimi emfrɛ
Share. Or flow as embassy. Ono kwa omfrɛ. Court nyama obela. Omfrɛ kra. Court be chese ko report nju kwa krapa da ono wa sign se waba. Eno ano no. Oni ni nko bo bia di.
emre
You criminal law no be ji obi fa awudie afini nsam tinya agro. Si atem wafo no nya kokodo so omo de ye adwuma no mbe yi politics afiri mu a na criminal law no ke fa awudie na so pa. Wo se waye den nipa no waye den tina no pe wo che no ka kire no me wo ba chi me sisi a ba so maye den wo se wakasa radio so ano pe ate mu misi yo mate njo ba se me nye den wo se sifiri wo ka no mu na fasa fo na maye misi yo die na ye ko police station na o pese o tire manu asem misi yo mini ho hwe ka me kasa radio so ndime kasa bi wa azo na wie na e de be se ko da cells na makoboko 48 hours na o de be akwa akoto ye o lent mu kurenti me mpredi ani ni na makwa akoda 48 hours na 48 hours mama ka kire me lawyer se mo go pay bill o court na me mpe police bill kwa na wakasa me zamra me pe court bill na makasa bakate me na bo mo fa court ma me na court ma me bill court ma me bill wi afa na na manso ne ye betase emra kora me fom ye ni detain ya wadi detain ni me no police ni kora abeche me na afa ne ye mfa mra na nya adwuma ye de mra na ye adwuma nka wo bo se wo kwa America no ma ye nkochi obi rough rough ye nkochi obi rough rough e sa na se sa ade nke ye no o ye dance ni dia wo kwachi ne se wa ye de wo ye dance ni eni kona ko mampani si go and collaborate
ena
mo shout mu
pepe de oni medi nkomo yi na kyerɛ sɛ no pɛde obɛka ye no so no wontimi nya bibia wɔ mmerɛ mu mfambo no
enti na wo kwa kwachi ne wo na se sa wo hwehwɛ ko adu ko ansa na wakɔ na brada bo ya me nya investigation ye tu
okay
yara
lo ma me na se na me senya mpamfama wo first me me srema
the lawyer yi kan mega menene ya adwen kakra bebe bia menene ya adwen ani se lawyer ne say Rev Ntim Fordjour any case to be arrested really menye lawyer mom but a layman's in fact statement the way tima ye die yetimi di twitwa e ho kakra e ma ye nkotom amukan se asemu die o yetrim it is in the constitution so be tantra that person must be arrested motianum mukai na shatawali any medical a prank be so omo they have been attacked by robbers also and even omo wuna dia de mokai it was fear and panic and omo kwose tie word ni yo wonye say although mu tantro there but their charge was fear and panic. They caused fear and panic. Omo kwose say bi birim any ehu na eba sa no omo chi omo e de omo hiem kakra enti so obi kwose fear and panic na omo chi na aden obi nso editro ma the whole country yedin essay eko international level yeni embra etimichi no lawyer obo Augustine bibisao you see mama mayemfa emotions enka yenim dia ye wo o camera get out of emotions o camera munja say mudim party colors ediko mwankasa mo private working no it won't help you yura lawyer obonsem okay somehow no, it shows clearly so where we MPP ni but ibi onyenyi ni hwadi oyi ni hwadi amiminim it shows very clear. I say, Yura, Reverend Ntim, it me cause, it me cancer, Emma the whole country. It didn't essay, I want you boni jahwa. Do you need somebody to tell you, say, oh, to kwanya, ebe how? Anas Arimiyaw Anas. Oni Kennedy e Japan, ya papa Kennedy Japan, esha adwuma na se no. I mean, omuliga battle na se no. Edrumre bia Anas Arimiyaw Anas e reporti yewura Kennedy Japan ema US embassy. Se wo oye criminal wo kunipa Ahmed Suale. Odu hon no mochie no. Omochie no. Enti senka betimi aka se na Kennedy Japan so I was so provide evidence and I also provide evidence say omo eden omachi no wakunipa before say the US embassy omo detain ra Kennedy Japan. You see, let's get out from emotions. Let's not mix emotions with our integrity. Asemba mumeyi how we feel for the person, how we think the person is, how we know the person, how we relate to the person, and speak the truth. Rev Ntim Fordjour, it is a total lies. He has no evidence to prove. Rev Ntim Fordjour, he has no evidence. I repeat, he has no evidence to prove himself. And by now I am critical because release evidence. It is a political game. Understands it. Say you aye lawyer yo kasa yi Augustine Obo ka abusia or kasa a political talker in the political side, then why would Rev Ntim Fordjour kasa or evidence and obeying shown up? Nobody should dare him. And so we are no any evidence, and I don't think how when ya saku kudru no editing radio station, TV stations, granted interviews, presser, we press conference, ne adi no. Obi only evidence will never do that. So if we have that courage to tarnish the image of Ghana and as well as the government, why don't you come out with a solid and substantive evidence, a credible evidence with a lot of facts. Now uhunto odi okuja tabla ko example ni juma dia no ye nyina na or provide evidence before Bekasano, na evidence then him dada. There is no need for him to be chased. There is no need for him to be called by NAB or whoever to provide evidence. But this man in question has no evidence, and yet he is still making noise. He is still doing a series or evidence be an uncophobic person the beba and uncophobic panacho actually. It at this moment arrest Abram no. I think so what evidence that he will bring it out. Let me tell you all these things no. Do you know why? As in Mustapha Gbande Reacted and Kofono Mukato money no mwanya ade. Yes. When you NDC for no mukaso munkwachino. We be our witness your cookie. And let me tell you, look at ECG sensem no. Mixing containers no. MPP for nsa won bi afenyo marking nsa won bi because a year in 2023 2024 thereabout enti afenyo marking na no ye board chair e ho no onim se ne hu won bi enti no sansem we buy on the 1st of April na Ntim Fordjour ebeye Ghana for na April fool na obeka sansem no. At first it was April fool but to share pressure na eba and I say no. I was saying me bold and make us evidence because Ghana near one so that I will cover the ECG own. Not me media abeye the topic on board because you didn't politics so me but ECG diano and she your mochi ye nimbe guase. That is the secret. So Winima, let me tell you, once I say me by EC Jasem, that is Ghana for you. It is a Rev Ntim Fordjour anywhere. It is a political tactics and a political what antics. Winima Mama Kacho. It is MTC for. Madika Kacho, you people should be focused. And you more now, they are trying to take out from, they are trying to take your mind from that ECG sense. Anyhow you will govern this country. Ghana for near Mahama Basso and those kind of things. And I'm person we be na Ghana for a buffum, na Ghana for Cassie, oh, and this for by CC, maybe be a moye, she name be a moye. That is exactly his point. It is a can't go for being chassis. You can't people don't just understand, and that is the reality. It is Rev Ntim Fordjour. Only MPP or Mashi home, he has no evidence. Trinity Kurama, Trinity Siena, ultimate evidence in back. A falsehood, a troll, and a word. Abusua for a comment to. I mean, who they also will be a comment section. Yankupon Koswaishra Hanum, a number one authentic platform, Mega TV, Guswa S7 with the best of news. We mammy chiba for Yankuposhra, Mamma Ray, Yankupon Yokesi, Obipia Mega TV. I send you. Macro Bibia. Bye bye.